Naruto 345. Alright, this was an awesome week again. We've been on... Naruto's been on such a high level. The idea that it's going to stay somewhere like this for for almost a year is it's pretty crazy. Anyway, top 2 comments. No strangers to being top comments. Chaz Malakian's number 1. DT Ninja 831. Now, every week we don't always get top comments. Sometimes they're pretty close, but these are pretty well differentiated. You can really see it. Okay, number 1, Chaz Malakian. Great chapter. Toby is a badass now. What I didn't like was the teleportation. It's failed for me because Toby was touching Naruto while Minato vanished him, so logically Toby should vanish with them too. But it's okay. You're right, we just gotta accept it or okay, Toby's face, that didn't bother me, but I could see your logic in it. So, okay, moving on. Toby's face being ripped open reminded me of the movie The Thing. The remake of that was an awesome movie. That was awesome. Really cool. Good reference. And again, Toby isn't the final villain, I'm sure of it. And now it's Naruto's turn to become the second version of the Sage of the Six Paths. Good review and keep up the good work. Awesome. But like I say, I guess about every week I have to say that he's not going to keep him. So I like the idea, I still like it, of Obito finally, he may come to terms, Naruto and B together. I like this even better. Naruto, B, and maybe even Minato may be able, probably more like Naruto and B, may be able to communicate in their sort of linked bijou mode with him and kind of convince them that this is what needs to happen. Is they all and so they will actually, I mean, the 8 and 9 tails will actually go, but surrender themselves to it, be reformed. Obito will be sacrificed in the process, finally doing something actually really good once because he may be at a level where once he may see that this isn't where he wants to be, although I kind of doubt it. He feels, I know this is a super old reference now, but he's got a real Aizen kind of feel to him. So, but anyway, he's really kind of going his own direction. And or look to him more like, I guess you'd say, not feel, look. I don't want to get into a debate on whether he's Aizen or not. Just kind of but anyway. Okay, great comment. Really do appreciate it. DT Ninja 831. Great chapter with an amazing twist. Obito looks like a boss now. At first, when Obito was being torn apart, I thought maybe Madara had activated his jutsu, and we would see a panel of him. But when I saw how badass he turned out at the end, damn, nobody can stand up against him now. Yeah, he's there. I still don't think he's going to be able to hold it apart, and I think that might be the driving force of him, deciding to make his choice, which I think he's going to make. But anyway, I keep saying that. The only way I see Obito losing is if he destructs physically or mentally. I think that's going to happen. Can't wait for the next chapter. Bring on the chaos. Awesome. Really do appreciate those comments. Awesome. Awesome job. All right, and we're going to go ahead and start. I got this link down here. Okay. Shane Burns, 1989. Naruto and Minato are going to be the key to winning against them. Reacted 1991. Maybe Kurama has the yang of the Ten Tails, and the rest of the Held Beasts have the yin, and therefore, if Naruto gets all of Kuruma's chakra, he'll be close to the same level, and will explain why Naruto and Minato have a similar look to the Sage of the Sixth Path. Yeah, well they got it. Well, yeah, well they got 2 halves of the same bijou. So, but what you're saying about them being this is what you're bringing up is a really good point, because other people have pointed out that the 9 tails part has whatever that part is that has some part of some very important part of the Sage of the Sixth Path in it. But like I say, they're going to get recombined completely. That's just my understanding of the prophecy, the way it works. All right, really do appreciate it, Reacted. Okay, and let's see. Kaisuke Nakamura. I really like this chapter. The action in it, how Obito became more like the Sage of Six Paths, and calm look on his face, while Sasuke, Naruto, and Yondan gets their ass kicked and keep retreating. Haha, nice, nice. All right, appreciate your comments. Michael Gethman, I enjoyed this chapter. I wish Obito would have have stayed pulled apart and let the Bijou take over. Where is Madara? I hope Madara does something cool next chapter, since he was absent in this one. Where did the pole that Obito is holding on to come from? The staff, huh? I sure hope Kishi knows what he's doing concerning the Jubi. Jubi's new form looked pretty cool, though. Yeah, everybody likes the look is phenomenal. It looks pretty intense, Eisenish. But anyway, that's just to me. It looks Eisenish to me. So, but they're always borrowing from each other. But anyway, oh, and why I know that, even though I haven't read all of Bleach and covered it, because I cheated and watched the final battle with it, and I just have a little idea of the look. But anyway, the staff. I guess that's I mean, if your body can get totally ripped apart, I guess you can make a staff too. I mean, that's a pretty intense. The idea of this whole Jubi is it isn't just its destructive power, but it's going to recreate, like, it can. Supposedly it can recreate reality, so it's like a rebirth. It's a reboot of the world, from my understanding of it, is what it's used for. Okay, not just for, you know, Gigetsu and all that other business. That's not its main point of being used. But anyway, what was the other thing? Oh yeah, Madara and Hashirama. Probably skipped it just for the mere fact of whatever Madara is going to do is have some kind of a massive dramatic effect. So they want this to play out here now, and then bring him in. But that's another thing. Kishimoto's got a whole lot of things sitting on the back. I mean, how many back burners does this stove have, right? Because he's got that going, and he's got, you know, Kakashi here, and he's, you know, Yamamoto. People forgot. There's characters people have forgotten about. They've just been like, you know, on the back, some kind of crazy million of back burners that they're out there. But anyway, it's just the way it is. We'll have to, you know. Well, realize that, so I'm just pointing that out. Anyway, I really appreciate your comments. Okay, Crazy Christian, 71. I really think that the Sage of the Sixth Path placed much more chakra in the Nine Tails than the other beasts. I would say maybe it isn't the amount, but so he placed something in there. Something, like I say, it's not an amount, it's some specific kind of chakra or something. But anyway, more of his essence, maybe. Excuse me. Naruto has to be super powerful with only half the Nine Tails chakra, enough to compete against all the other Jinchuriki under Obito's control. The question I have is, why did the sage do that? Number 2, for some time I've had the question as to why Obito wanted Sasuke in the first place. Now it seems irrelevant. However, he did not want Sasuke to gain power through hatred for a purpose. It may have simply been that he wanted Sasuke to be the second person controlling the Jubi, while the Jubi got, you know, while he was able to do his thing. That's why he wanted Sasuke. I'm assuming that's what Obito did. Anyway, okay, and let's see. The reason, Crazy Christian 71 continues, the reason I pose these various questions is to state that I think that Naruto, at full Fox power, both halves, might defeat an incomplete Jubi. That's an important part. So we have an incomplete Jubi, which is jacked up, and even this form that he has, this new Jinchuriki of the Jubi, looks kind of messed up. Even though it looks cool, it's not complete. And we all know that Obito is a freaking basket case. So yes, I have to agree with you there. However, if Obito has a way to absorb the 8 tails, then it might change things. Also, I think there is something special about Sasuke, and Obito might have plans for him. Maybe to defeat Madara. Or this, I think he's well, how do you defeat something that there must be, well, that's another thing. Getting into how do you, if he's controlling himself, he's kind of immortal. And controlling himself being immortal. So he's his own puppet master, basically, Madara. So how do you... There's always a way to trump it, so I'm kind of curious how that would work. But anyway, it's a good point you're bringing up here. Or this could be his opportunity to throw Sasuke and Naruto and gain the Nine Tails. There is no way Sasuke is back to normal. Well, by back to normal, if you're saying good, then that isn't even normal for Sasuke. I am not one of these people. Sasuke is a sympathetic character. Okay? But he's either in the middle. He's either gray or he's black. I mean, he's not. He isn't. He's got good and bad. Okay, but the good has been. His mind has been pretty warped. So he's got, like I say, he doesn't go all the way to the good side. This is my opinion. But anyway, I hope you know what I'm saying. So anyway, well, just a minute on that. I just want to make sure. Time and time again, I've stated, and I feel pretty solid on this, that Sasuke isn't going to stay. He may redeem himself a couple of times, but this Avenger thing isn't just a fad. Okay, the whole Avenger cycle will keep going. You know, it doesn't matter to him. Okay, he wants to save the village, and then he wants to destroy the village, and then this is just the way this guy's going to go. He's not in balance. Okay, that's a repetitive, and this is really what I'm driving at. A repetitive thing in a lot of Eastern thought, specifically different forms of Buddhism, is about balance. Okay, and then the references to the inner path, a person exploring what's in them, and then the answers in the outer path. The answer is the inner. There's a lot of Eastern thought here. A lot of it's, if you look at it as a philosophy, which I do, actually a lot of it makes a lot of sense. So that's why there's a lot of these references. So that's also why a lot of these characters, they're so far out of balance. Okay, they may gain a strength from it, but they're out of whack. You're not solid unless you're centered, basically. But anyway, moving on. All right, really do appreciate your comments. Let's see. Nexus Legend 9. What if the Sage of the Sixth Path himself is the final form of the Jubi? That would be an interesting twist. I don't think that is... It would be an interesting twist. But I don't think that's how it's going to work. I think a piece of him, as we've already seen other characters, will come back and may help guide Obito, more than likely may have a conversation with Naruto because he's at that level, so that he can now talk to Obito. He may even be a bridge of the communication. There's something that his essence has still got to do, which has already been planned out. So I feel, and the way that things have gone, especially the last several chapters, you could just see since the Edo Kages and a little bit before that, this feels really planned out. But anyway, really do appreciate the comment. Trent Lamanga's second comment. Obito may have gained control, but the Jubi isn't at full power, signified by Obito's one sage, six horn, and different back markings. Very good point. Several people pointed that out, even though people get caught up in how awesome he looks and not like he's kind of still mangled looking. It's not, he's not complete. So you're bringing up a very good point. The image of the Obito Sharingan, then him stitching his consciousness back together, shows emphasis on the eye and its ability. If Obito was able to do this, what is Madara's trump and his true power? When is Sasuke going to get his power up? Kakashi wants us to believe Sasuke is more powerful, but Naruto's path of power is clear. Sasuke can't be outclassed until the next arc. Sasuke, I have to agree with that completely. Trent Lamanga continues. When does Madara admit his common enemy equals peace and unity strategy? If not, he's going to display the perfect Susanoo against Obito. We all know Kishi cracks a door with a statement or display of power, buries the statement, then he finally resurfaces the statement with a backstory of some sort of unheard of, nearly unfathomable technique. Okay, I'm gonna let that stand. But well, there's a lot of possibilities he can go. Okay, is no good. I don't think there is much talk about this chapter, except the fact that Obito transformed into complete or incomplete sage of the Sixth Path. Hashirama just told everyone to step back, and Jubito previous chapter, so I think that's the reason no one goes in. I wonder what is Kakashi doing if Kurama is still storing up chakra, but I doubt it. I'm I'm in complete darkness. I don't see any way how Obito is going to be defeated. Hope it's not going to be Rin telling him to get alive. I have to be honest. This is, and Rin, people have Rin fatigue now. Okay, people are either they're sick of hearing Rin, period. Okay, or they're sick of her not being actually meaningful to anyone except Obito for some reason that isn't completely been made clear. There's, or convincing. I guess that's the truth of it. It hasn't been made convincing to us. If he had made a much stronger multiple Rin Obito thing over time, so you just like, wow, these two are really bonded together. They're really, there's something there, even if it's just one-sided, then we could have understood. But it was just like, this happened because of Rin. And but anyway. So that's Rin fatigue, I think, is set in with a lot of people. I actually would be happy for Rin to, just think of this. If we hear about Rin this many freaking times, and then she doesn't actually have anything else to do except being some weird spark because of it but anyway, yeah, okay. And some people maybe just want to get past it. To hell with it. All right. Anyway, appreciate the comments. NW Order for Life. You really got to give it to Obito. He just used his bonds as strength to bring his sanity back and gave him mastery over the Jubi. A direct contrast to how Sasuke wants to sever his bonds. I don't know. I've seen where it kind of looked like he ripped them apart and then maybe got rid of her. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure that was the meaning of it. But anyway, Kishi has once again done a great job showing how Obito is basically a different Naruto, because Naruto relies on the strength of his bonds as well. Very true. It seems to me that Obito has become the new Rikudo Sinin. I hereby declare that he should be named Rikubito. I think Naruto will have to use the Bijou to match him. You know about the whole Rin obsession. Here we go. I think Rin again. I'm not saying about you. I'm just saying here we are with Rin again. But anyway, I think people need to understand that Obito didn't start this war for Rin, but she has become his strength for persevering through his obstacles and accomplishing his goals. I've seen lots of people call Obito a pedophile. How the hell would... What? She was the same age as he was. What the hell logic is that? I don't even... Okay. That is... I've never heard that, and that's idiotic. But his love he had for her wasn't sexual, and he thinks of Rin when she was 13 because that's how he knew her. That's how he was. He's still a boy inside, and that boy still loves her. It's not the same thing as a man being in love with a girl. Yeah, I don't understand. Okay, first I'm hearing that, and that is out there. Okay, NW Order for Life continues. Excuse me. I'm very excited to see how Obito will fight now that he has regained his sanity. I wouldn't go that far. He may have some clarity. He may be, there in that aspect, but he may be freaking crazy still. He may be crazier. Okay, we haven't seen him just having the ability to communicate doesn't mean that he's not crazy. So, and trust me, through life, I think we've all been able to communicate very well and just weren't 100% there. All right, I'm making a prediction right now that after several chapters of fighting, Obito will go after Madara and then defeat him, leaving everyone else alive. During this time, Madara will activate his trump card and it will fail. Obito will then prepare the Mugen Tsukiyami, and then Naruto will receive his final power-up and confront him before the Dojutsu and cast on the moon. After Obito is defeated, Sasuke will take action. Right? He's going to revenge something else, I'm sure. Alright, really do appreciate the comments. Yeah, they already covered everything. Okay, the maker for you. Minato should give his Bijou chakra to Naruto. Does that even need chakra? He is Edo Tensei, therefore he already has unlimited chakra. Why does he still use his Flying Thunder God technique if he's got the speed of the Bijou? Well, it gives you different types of chakra. It gives you, it's like the symbols, okay, and everything. It's more than just. A lot of times this is just power. It's like electricity. It's just power. This is very different power that has different abilities and like the essence of nature. You know, the power you collect by that method. Okay, in Sage mode, it isn't just power. It has its own intrinsic nature and values and things you can use it for and can't use it for. It can mix with and different. So anyway, just want to go ahead and make that. That's my understanding of it. So I just want to make that point. So that's why he has this. He's relying. He has this different chakra because it allows him to do different things. And even like I say, the manifestation of the Sage of the Six Paths stuff on him kind of is a big indicator of that. KH Mixer X. It's almost as if the Sage plays some of his chakra. Yeah, sounds very, very on the money right there. In a Kyuubi before he died. Yes, I believe that's absolutely true. I have a feeling that when Minato gives his chunk of the Kyuubi chakra to Naruto, and he undoubtedly eventually will, the Sage himself, or at least some incarnation of this form, will manifest in Naruto, and that's what I think, at least. I like that. That makes perfect sense. That makes absolute logic to me. Doesn't mean it's true, but it means that it sounds true to me. Does anybody else find it curious that the only Jinchuriki who has the visual characteristics reminiscent of the Sage of the Six Paths during their tailed beast transformation, those who have the Kyuubi's chakra in them? There you are. Brilliant. There you are. Those three being Naruto, Minato, and Obito, of course. Naruto and Minato have large chunks of it, and Obito has a small amount of that Keiko brothers possessed. That tells me that something about the Kyuubi was unique, something that set him apart from the other Bijous. Now, anybody, reading this, you probably already put that together, but this is yet another of the reasons to actually read the comments and watch, viewer comment videos, because you get some extremely good insights, because that makes a lot of sense. Really do appreciate your comments. Uchiha GXD. I'd host for Obito to turn good. Still could happen. Still could happen. Since now he has control over the progenitor of all things. That's right. I don't know what will happen. What if Madara's trump cards join the alliance? Keep up the awesome work. Really do appreciate the encouragement. It may actually be too late for the trump card. This is Madara may have already had to use whatever it was before he achieved this form. So the trump card that, well, actually most people didn't even really engage on it because I think they're like, well, what the heck was that? That was probably something that when he pieced this Obito together, the will of Madara or whatever. But anyway, so moving past that, since most people didn't really engage too much on that. Anyhow, appreciate your comment. And let's see. Jazz0114. Oh, this is something I thought of too. Obviously, the snake-like form he took compares to Orochimaru. That was the first thing. As soon as you say snake in Naruto, I'm there. Orochimaru. I'm thinking that's it. And then this whole thing is like, well, okay. I wonder if Orochimaru does in fact have any connection to the Sage and the Jubi. I wouldn't be shocked. As much research and crazy stuff that Orochimaru has done, I wouldn't doubt that some way that would be true. Okay, appreciate the comment. Uchiha GXD. And what if Rikido Sinen gets revived in some way? I really want to see what he looks like. I mean, nearly everyone is here. Why not the Sage himself? It's like a Naruto party. We need Jiraiya to come back. That needs to happen, right, to make this complete. And maybe in the next arc, okay, somehow. And of course, the Sage of the Sixth Path. I have to agree, just in some form, and it would be so easy to do since it's obvious, even small amounts of chakra can be implanted, and then they have the memories or whatever that person. You can interact with them for a short time, and then chakra runs out. So we already know this happens. And if these other people can do that, then why the heck couldn't the Sage of the Sixth Path do it? It's easy. So I just book on him coming back in some form, and pretty much most people are saying this, and you're probably that's what you're saying too. So, all right, Uchiha GXD. Once you realize that this is the shortest war, but the longest arc. Okay, it sounds good. I like that. And then let's see. That was applied to this. Okay, Janisorf. I like Obito, but I don't feel sorry for him at all. He's foolish. I have nothing against him, but it's the truth. I won't say their names, but I can think of two characters who endured a lot. I think this ended up being a long back and forth, if I remember correctly, on another review and comments, and in the video too. Look at more than Obito. I got in a big debate last week, yeah. So I won't say any more. Okay, on that. All right. No sympathy or little sympathy for Obito. I understand that. Trust me. The hate of the character and sympathy, my hate far outweighs the sympathy. But there have been moments, like when he was, I have to say, when he was getting ripped apart this chapter, I really felt bad. I'm like, oh man, that's, and the way it was done was masterful. So yeah, I can see it. But anyway, let's go ahead and then we'll see. Appreciate the comments. Making 13, I totally agree with this. Sakura should have been there. Yeah, I wanted to get a little bit more into that. Just briefly right here. I'm glad you reminded me of that. I keep thinking of it and then not bringing it back. She has to be there. I said it in the video, but I guess I said it's not really debatable because she has to be on the team. She has to be in there. I mean, would Tsunade have been sitting things out? I've seen a lot of flashbacks. I saw nothing about Tsunade sitting. Oh, it's too tough for me. Jiraiya and Ochimaru, you go do that. It's, I'm Tsunade. I'll go sit. No, none of this. You haven't seen any of that. So if she's on her level, which we've heard, this is bullshit. Okay, now I'm getting cranked up. Let's go ahead. Yeah, I wish I would have made it stronger in the review video, but anyway, that's how I feel about it. And I'm not the only one. Okay, all that stuff out there, it should have been. But anyway, okay, all right. Made my point. Okay, is no good. First of all, I think Killer Bee and Hachibi are planning something, but it's not going to work, and he's going to die. So far, what they've done is they've helped, but yeah, the Sage of the Sixth. The whole thing about him dying, you could kind of see it, but I hope not. I hope that isn't the way it goes out. He's an interesting character. Now, is B my favorite character? No. Is like top 10 characters to me? No. Top 15, maybe, probably. It isn't that I'm the biggest fan of B. It's just he's an interesting character. And this is, and since we're in the middle of the whole Bijou thing, you would think that he would be more involved than he is. But anyway, okay. But whatever. Okay. I'm not. The thing is I stand by what I said, right or wrong, is because I still think it's right. If I find it's wrong, is that Sakura absolutely positively should be in the middle of this, and B should be involved somehow. If, like some people are saying, he's doing something and then he's going to come in and then fine, okay, I can deal with that. But Sakura should be in the middle. Anyway, I've gone way over on that. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Back on track. The Sage of the... This is no good. Okay, more of what he wrote. The Sage of the Sixth Path said something about a day when the Bijous will be together again. Yeah, I've read the prophecy before. At that moment they are, except Kurama and Hachibi. I think Naruto is going to be the host of all the Bijous since he knows all their names and they accept him and recognize him as a reincarnation of the Sage of the Sixth Path. He has to be there. I think he has to be there, okay? But I don't think he has to be the host. Although that would make sense too. Okay, if he did indeed get them all and then was able to redistribute them and fulfill the prophecy. But also I could see him, as long as he's there, maybe working with Obito. Obito could do that too. But anyway, we'll see. But he is critical. A very good point you're making. Without Naruto, the prophecy won't be fulfilled. Okay, so, and it's gonna, since it's a prophecy, it's gonna happen. So that means Obito's plans, of course, as we all know, are not going to work. Anyway, Trenthal Manga. Appreciate the comments. Trenthal Manga. Another thought. The 5 Kages are on their way. Plus, Hiruzen made the analytical connection of those black orbs and Onoki's Jintan dust particle style. Is Onoki and others fast enough to compete against an incomplete Sages of the Sixth Path and formulate a counter strategy? Madara did not defy the laws of the living in time to be destroyed by an extremely powerful, anxious little boy. His trump card isn't the perfect sign, but my vantage, the arc has just started. Madara showed them the truth. Well, we will see. I don't think that they're gonna look, if they can't defeat Madara. I think we're underestimating something I have really seen. I think we're really underestimating how powerful Obito is. I think it's gonna. I really think we're just really underestimating his strength. I think he's way beyond it. I think that, you know, even incomplete, you know, we're just not giving him the proper status of where he really is as far as power. His problem is going to be that he's freaking crazy. All right, let's see. Appreciate your comments. Paul G. According to page 7 of Naruto on Mangus, okay, it shows Sasuke remembering Minato saying, "It's only work if I'm directly touching it or my chakra is in direct contact with it." So that should explain to you why Obito wasn't teleported right there. It's because Minato wasn't directly touching him. He only grabbed Sasuke and Naruto, and therefore they got teleported with him, and Obito was left behind. Hope that clears things up a bit. Okay, this is the rule. He can't unless he's physically, but he has a choice. Minato has a choice on when he teleports and doesn't. That's my understanding. Okay? Can't if he isn't physically or in chakra connection with it, but then he has a choice of things that are within that. That's my understanding. Good, now, moving on. Appreciate the comment. Okay, I already read that one. Let's see. A couple of comments from Mr. RJC23. I completely agree, or actually, hold on. You're commenting on Justin Soda. Let's read that comment first. Pretty sure if Sakura was with Naruto, and then right now she completely destroyed the dynamics of the team. What could she possibly contribute? She's on a completely different level than Naruto, Sasuke, and Minato, and would only either get one of them or herself killed. Now, and Naruto on the other hand, LOL. I'm kidding, but seriously, even B would probably be in the way since his strongest form is fully transformed tailed beast, which is simply just a huge target for Obito's chakra. Well, that's a strong pushback. I still, you know, it's been sold. She's supposed to be there. I stand with that. Although I see your logic. And responding to that, a couple comments from Mr. RJC23. I completely agree. Sakura would not be any help in this situation. Killer B, on the other hand, is kind of necessary, in my opinion. The dude is strong, plus he has 8 tails. He is relevant to the story. And then, okay, it's just okay, it's the same comment duplicated. Okay, all right. Appreciate your comments, and let's see. All right. Armin Gregorian. Kakashi is going to come and save them with the Kamui. What part is he going to play now? Is he going to prevent? I mean, it's going to be weird. It's going to be odd. I mean, the idea that maybe, I don't know. He's there. He's out of the way. Well, You know, he's parked there. I think that was just a place Kishimoto said, okay, I got to get Kakashi out of here and park him somewhere. So it may not be that relevant that he's there. Sad to say it, but that may be true. Okay. Okay, and let's see. Javi, appreciate the comment. Javi Soccer 13. I would love to see Obito thrash Madara up. I want to see Madara's face as he gets owned. He'd just reform, but yeah, he wouldn't be too thrilled with it, would he? Some little punk kid that he built and created, basically destroyed his little mind and pieced his body back together, and then he beats the hell out of him. That would be funny. Yeah. So let's see. Appreciate the comment. Trent Low Manga. If Kakashi doesn't save them, it will be one of Madara's eye abilities. Not sure how or what he'd do besides time manipulation, but that'd be the dope. I want to see Madara versus Obito. My opinion, I believe Madara has the ability to win for some odd reason. Madara has played with everyone for him to be the casual and not tripping. Ours is because he expected this all to be a degree. I'm probably reading this wrong. He has more than a countermeasure. He holds the game changer. All right. It could be. I'm curious, like I say, but he built him. I'm just going to be repeating myself. Well, let's go ahead and get to no less than 5,000 sneaky burritos. I think I see all this coming together now. Naruto represents the younger version of the sage who possessed the body and ideology of love. Sasuke represents the eldest son of the sage who's possessed the mind and eyes and the ideology of power. Like their ancestors before, Hashirama and Madara both failed to create peace with their differences, but now Naruto and Sasuke, the generation on the rise, has the chance now to finally deal with the Ten Tails, like the sage from the very beginning. However, we have to hope and predict a way that Naruto and Sasuke will find a way to end the problems of the tailed beasts once and for all, other than the method of the sage used by splitting the power that only resulted in the hell it created that it's going on for the very moment. I think instead of redistributing the beasts into Jinchurikis, he will set them free from their chains, but in the process lose Kurama. Longer down the road, this could pose a problem for his fight with Sasuke. Well, there's the prophecy. They're going to be recreated. For whatever reason, the sage couldn't, or it wasn't ideal for whatever reason for him to do it at the time. I think that it was just this endless cycle. Part of this is the endless cycle of the Jubi creating and destroying, which is part of what he's trying to break so that the present reality stays and continues on. Okay? And this is his way of doing it. Whatever rules there are and everything, the sage evidently knew it, and this is going to come out. But anyway, okay, I'll just be repeating myself on some of this stuff. I think there was... No. Anyway, moving on. Appreciate your comment. Comment Bob 9. Yes, it's... Well, okay, there is one thing I wanted to say on this is... It isn't really... If you really look at this stuff, you can say it's the ninja system. We can blame it on the Bijus. But really, what are the Bijus? They're power. So it's really Kishimoto showing these different nation states, which is the reality that we live in, fighting over what? Over power, over resources. The real problem, to misquote Shakespeare, is us. We are the problem. Okay? That's the problem. It isn't the you can replace the Bijus. You can create another system. If you look at humanity, just a moment here. If you look at humanity, every single system that we as human beings implement, okay, fails. All of them fail in some way because we, as human beings, just the way we're made up, okay, is we seem to not be able to differentiate enough people anyhow, between enlightened self-interest and unenlightened self-interest. Enlightened self-interest means that we share. Why do we share? It makes more sense if I grab everything to hold on to everything. But for peace and a lot of other reasons, you have to kind of share things. You have to negotiate and get systems in there that so people can get what they need, even though they may not always get what they want. But what is it? And I include myself in this, of course, is we as human beings, we simply grab, take, and then, of course, once the conflicts start and blood is spilled and someone kills your brother or your mother or whatever, and this is really what you're seeing with the whole Senju. They're brothers. They have a common freaking ancestor, the Sage of the Sixth Path, and they're destroying each other. It's humanity. It's the problem. How do you stop these things? I mean, these are about real problems that Kishimoto is really talking about. But anyway, really do appreciate your comments. Okay. And let me go ahead and... okay. DT Ninja 831. Did anyone notice how Obito's memories completely faded as he was ripped apart, and then all of a sudden he emerged once again? It was interesting because at first it seemed out of place. Something was missing in the panel. But the more I thought about it, Obito was always had his shred of humanity that seems to give him that extreme endurance. Like that stubborn part of him that makes him truly strong. So it's still there. That's still. It's like the real Obito it's still there. It's buried. It's beaten. But it's still there. And then the craziest thing about it, it's the thing that's that part of him that is the most powerful part of him in there. I love where you're going with that. That's awesome. And let's see. I may have already read this. Conley Bob 9. I think I just read this, but I'll read it again. Conley Bob 9, because this is actually a reply to DT Ninja 831. Yes, it's his remaining humanity that gave him his strength, even though he did everything he could to erase his identity and saw those memories of the past as a weakness. I gotta really go with that. And let's see, Mr. Marcus also believe was responding to... Oh, maybe not. I'm going to go ahead and read this. It's in here. I feel like this chapter is a setup for Naruto to become who we all want him to become, the ultimate hero and sage of the Sixth Path. Yes, Obito is taking heads at this point, but it will come a time when someone figures out how to defeat the Enigma, and I mean Obito. No 5 Kages, no Orochimaru. We need to really end this war, and it's been dragging out so long to end this war already, Kishimoto. End the war! I'm here. That's what I'm hearing. Okay, and I already read that comment. Okay, Mr. Marcus. Once again, Madara is either stalling for time, or is Hashirama the real trump card? Well, Hashirama, how did he know? How did he think that Hashirama would be back? I don't think he thought Hashirama was coming back. So I don't think Hashirama is an important part of the trump card. What if this continuing on with Mr. Marcus? What if his DNA that was extricated by Madara years ago is the key to some sort of connection to his plan? Well, I would agree with that part. And let's see, I appreciate the comment. Let's see. DT Ninja 831. I agree with you, Rampage. Sakura and B and even Hinata should be in the mix. I think that the reason several of the characters are sidelined because Hashirama told them to go back for now. Either I already read this or someone else said something very similar. Kishimoto seems to not really care about Sakura's character. Oh, I didn't read this part. But I feel that she should be there even if she's just there for medical support. I mean, they're a team, right? Well, anyway, that's pretty much the way I see it. Mr. Marcus, appreciate the comment. I don't really care about the D-list characters like Sakura and Hinata. Gosh, Sakura shouldn't be a D-list, but that seems to be the way she's going. So anyway, at this point, we need the main characters to step up. I do think what's needed to be done, and I'm really more concerned with Orochimaru and the 5 Kages, and what's taking them so damn long to get to the battlefield. The other thing is really concerned is what is Madara up to. This guy really creeps me out. Very unpredictable. character. You don't know what to expect out of him. He's I can't. I want to see the trump card. Kishimoto is so good at this. He's got us in such it's crazy. Anyway, appreciate the comments as always. Defender Power. I'm digging the new Obito, but I finally hit the wall with this mature Obito fight arc. Because ever since the fight between Naruto and Killer Bee versus Obito, the tailed beasts all have been seeing or Bijudamas. Like even now, Obito becomes a mini sage's safe path, and the Sharingan and Rinnegan. Yet, what does he use? Only Bijudamas. Not hating or anything, but come on, Kishi. Could we see some more variety, more jutsus that really go on the scale of the Sage's Sixth Path instead of spamming Bijudamas? Alright, Bijudama fatigue is set in. The Thunder Powwow. Alright, G. Gorsey. Great chapter. I liked it. It was good to see that Obito is back. Meaning that he can remember everything. Well, maybe. We'll see. Naruto is as fast as Minato almost. So why not use his speed to free themselves from Obito? It is nearly 9 chapters since we saw the Nine-Tailed. I think that he's done to build up his chakra. So, well, yeah, I mean, yeah, okay. So Naruto can use the fight with Obito. Yeah, well, now, okay, that makes sense. So right now, anything that Nine-Tails does, we could say, okay, he's had plenty of time to charge, so he could be able to use some, you know, maximum abilities, whatever they are. So, yeah, true. Well, I do appreciate the comment. Okay, let's see. D from Dub, excuse me. So, D from Dub. So, Obito threw a because of Rin to the friggin' Juby, and it worked. When we all thought he was gone for good, he just would remember Rin. Overcome the Juby and become the new sage. I remember the whole Uchiha goes mad when somebody dear dies. But seriously. Oh, I wish so much that somebody summons an Edo Rin to tell Obito something like, I like you, but I would prefer we remain friends. I don't know. After all this time, that is still funny. The friend zone thing was so freaking funny. Oh boy. Now that he thinks, then Talk no Jinsu will come followed by back to status quo Tensei. Okay, I'm gonna let that stand because like Rin, it's funny, or even I don't know. Oh, that would be so funny. But well, let's see. I didn't think that it was possible for Rin to be Madara's trump card, but if he actually, which he did, okay, set up that situation with her, you know, to get killed and make sure Obito saw that, and that Kakashi, if he was able to manipulate all those events, okay, I would imagine that it would be possible, and he knows all about the Edo, you know, Tensei, okay, that he could have had enough of her material to bring her back, and maybe that is actually the trump card. Okay, that he has some material from before she got killed, so that he, you know, because he evidently knew. I mean, if he set that situation up, he knew how important that his team was, that she was, and it was confirmed by what Obito told Madara, basically when he was, you know, trying to recover, and he needed to get back to his friends and all that. So Rin as the trump card sounds legitimate to me. It didn't to begin with, but it does. It logically makes sense. So I would go with Rin as the trump card. So I don't know what she would say, but I like you, but you know, I don't know. It just sounds pretty amusing. Anyway, okay, let me find my place again here. All right, Panamantis. Has anyone noticed? Has anyone to notice? Has the third Hokage? He's in this fight too. They have the Death Seal Jutsu 3rd and 4th, can use that while B and Naruto, Sasuke, and the most strategic person in the manga, Shikamaru, he can analyze Obito, and I'm just saying, a great job, Steve, review, and freaking awesome. I appreciate it. I don't always read things that great. I would like to see Shikamaru being Hokage. I've said that before, and it just makes the most sense. He's a genius. He should be in there. He isn't that useful as far as his abilities, so you would kind of want this genius to kind of hang back, which, put it this way, it's more an office job, and I think we all should agree that Shikamaru would like the office job more than out running around all over the place. Okay, Panamantis continues. Oh yeah, another thing I want to clear up, since Obito is the Jinchuriki, he can be treated as one. Extraction of some sort of, or unlock a seal for the Jubi to come out. I haven't seen that as a plan. I don't know, maybe that's because something had happened, another prediction. I don't know. You got me. That actually, could happen. So that, but well within the realm of possibility, I guess. It's Kishimoto can do anything he wants. Okay, let's see. King H Mixer X. You should do a review of the latest Naruto Shippuden episode. Best episode in a very long time. Very, very long time. Well, the reason I don't do the anime episodes anymore is because I don't watch them. And the reason I don't watch them is pretty much by what you said. Best episode in a very, very, very long time. I got burnt out with it. Naruto to me makes way more sense than the manga. I just, the hit and miss, a lot more hits with the anime. Now, the battle scenes are usually great and everything, but it's just, I just, like, as I've told people before, I'm not going to start doing those again. I don't even watch the Naruto anime anymore. So, that's where it is. But I appreciate you telling me that the latest episode's been the best in a very long time. Okay, let's see, appreciate, Kanabob9. So here I am, sitting here, drinking myself to sleep each night and sleeping away in a cardboard box in the corner of my room. After reading this chapter, it looks like Obito really is the main villain. It's sad to see the Naruto series come to this after having read it for so many years. I admit that Obito's new form looked really cool, which everybody seems to agree with, but he's really bad to be a villain with his horrible motivation. If I have to hear the name Rin just one more time, I might vomit. Oh boy. Oh, Cowboy 9 forces his way to continue through. In this chapter, Obito got his mind back through his memories of one thing alone. Rin. Freaking Rin. The guy's, oh my god. Oh, are you the one that started this? The guy's a pedophile. Rin? Stop being a creepy. They were the same age, man. Memories of him and this, I don't know where, I had to say, Kami Bob 9, this is one time. Okay, I don't understand your perspective on this. I don't understand your perspective. I don't get this. I don't understand it. But anyway, maybe read on. Maybe it'll make more sense to me. Okay, that's Ochimaru's thing. He was slithering like a snake in his chapter 2, which again is an Oro thing. Well, guess I'll have to accept that he's Naruto's main villain, but not before finishing the other 4 stages of grief. I don't understand that. Look, I don't even want to get into it. I mean, anybody wants to make comments, it's fine. I don't understand the logic. If they were the same age and she died and he misses her, how is that anything other than that? I cannot comprehend it. I can't in any aspect comprehend it. And there wasn't, and as has been mentioned, there was no romantic. It was just puppy love, if you want to call it that, or whatever. There was nothing. I cannot grasp that. So sorry, Conley Bob 9. On this one, I don't understand. Okay, and we're about at the end. But this is viewer comments. People get there's, everyone be warned. You get perspectives from all over the place and everything, and that's what it is. Is people are able to air their comments, and we all have very different perspectives. Anyway, moving on. And I always appreciate your comments. I may not agree, but I do appreciate them. All right, Trenthlo Manga. Not sure if any of you watched episode 321, 322, but now I'm sure Madara has more than one countermeasure in mind. Kabuto says, I'm not sure if he's going to follow your plan exactly. And then I guess you're responding to Panda Man. Says, you're right about him being a Jinchuriki, and eventually someone will extract and possibly kill him. Only 2 people, maybe 3, could pull off the combination in unison. Kakashi and Madara, maybe a little Minato in the mix, LOL. Though, albeit the Reaper seal, but it needs a living sacrifice, like Ochimaru said. Well, there's all kind. Well, remember how he got it? He said, "Oh, they're living, and here's some pieces of some zetsus." So there's all kind of ways to do things. And let's see if I can actually get this show. This will be okay. Okay, the last comment, Conley Bob 9, which is responding to Trenthlo Manga, I believe. Okay, here's the theory. Obito will use his Rinnegan power to revive the 4 Edo Hokages, as well as Madara, so that they can be killed. His Jubi power will allow him to use the Rain Tensei without dying himself. The Alliance will need Madara's trump card in order to defeat him. Jiraiya will probably return and do some crazy stuff with his hair. I want to read that again. Here's the theory. Obito will use his Rinnegan power to revive the 4 Edo Hokages, as well as Madara, so they can be killed. His Jubi power will allow him to use the Rain Tensei without dying himself. The Alliance will need Madara's trump card in order to defeat him. Jiraiya will probably return and do some crazy stuff with his hair. Okay. Wow. That's pretty crazy. Awesome. Appreciate it. I'm going to have to think about that more, the implications of him bringing them back like that. But anyway. Okay, and one thing I really pray won't happen is that Obito does get taught no Jutsu. He won't use his new power to bring all 50,000 plus people who have been killed. And then, of course, there's appreciate your comments, and that's the last comment. I'm going to go ahead and close this up. And wow, okay, I guess we got a couple of minutes to kill here. All right, now let's see. Anyway, I'll just go ahead and close up. I like that. Now, one thing is there's been the ideas. What if he brings back all the Uchiha that got massacred? And people have been waiting for this. This is no new prediction, okay? But what if that's his next trump card? So now you don't just have Obito. Now you've got the resurrected Uchiha that are now back. And that would be no minor thing in particular, okay? And that may be something that even Madara could get behind. So that's another perspective. That's something you can have. But anyway, we're going to close this up. This channel is always about viewer comments. It's about this form of interaction. I've been doing this for a while. Anyway, this is the first time watching one of my videos or participating. Just participate in there. Watch the quality of the comments on the reviews, the people putting down, because they get better every single week, and they're already pretty damn good right now. This is a small channel, but whereas you mainly get people fighting or they just make dumb comments, to be perfectly honest, the vast majority of the comments here are pretty well thought out. So there's a lot to learn. There's a lot of different perspectives. It's a lot of fun, and that's really what it's about. Look, this is fun. What other point would there be? We're reading something that's fun, and we're doing something that's fun. And I appreciate, like I say, everyone that takes the time, that steps up, and actually makes the comments, okay, and thinks it through and puts it down, because I know how it is. YouTube, Twitter, the whole, you know, all these different forms of communication. There are lots of trolls. There's always the, you know, people out there, they're going to start bashing people or whatever. So anybody that stands up, I have a lot of respect for you, and especially, like I said, the quality of everything that people are putting out there. It's freaking awesome. All right, let me go ahead and close this up. And it looks like it went over an hour. Excellent. Thank you, everybody. All right, anybody can be an anime fan. I would appreciate, if you've stuck it through this far, I really would appreciate a thumbs up. That would make me feel good. I really would appreciate it. Or a thumbs down if you want, or not. Do whatever you want. But I'm going to ask for a thumbs up if you have it in your heart. Okay, okay. You can always subscribe. You can always unsubscribe. You can do anything you want to. Until next time, take care.